well-prepared engineers and technicians are one of the most important assets to success in this global economy. And that is one of the reasons of the increasing competitiveness for Mexican economy. Other measure was we clearly support the free trade agreement. I do believe in trade. And I realize that trade is able to provide better opportunities for the people, either consumers or producers, clearly. And it's not a question of textbook of economy. It's a question of reality we experimented in Mexico during several years, even since NAFTA, and more particularly this decade. Of course, we know that we have a very privileged geographical site. If I can say, you can see this beautiful map. Mexico is exactly in the center of the world.
It depends.
We are able to be connected with several economic zones in the world. We are directly connected with Asia through the Pacific Sea. We are connected with Europe through the Gulf of Mexico. We are connected with the United States, the largest economy in the world. Still. With 3,000 kilometers of border. And we are connected to Latin America, and we are proudly Latin America. So Mexico is like the interconnection for trade and investment. And the way in which we are trying to get all the advantage coming from that privileged position is the way I say, infrastructure and investing in people, keeping macroeconomic in order. But because of that, we try to expand our markets even more. And today, we have free trade agreements with 44 countries in the world. Probably the country with most agreements, free trade agreements than anyone else. And with that, the Mexican producers have access to more than 1 billion consumers in the world, including the rich consumers in the world in the United States and Europe. And that is providing better conditions for our people. Open economy through free trade. And what happened with all those nations that had not free trade agreement with Mexico? Regardless of that condition, we reduced, and that is another measure, we reduced tariffs for trade and investment in the country. I remember these fancy meetings and summits in the G20. I enjoyed them so much. But I remember that always there were some kind of three or four very strong inspirations in our remarks and conclusions. One of them always was, we will defend free trade. We will conclude the Doha round next month. And we reject any protectionism. But the day after the G20 summit, 15 out of 20 countries raised tariffs and applied new barriers to the trade. We did the other way around. We reduced tariffs. On average, we reduced tariff for manufacturing industry, for instance, from more than 10% to 4% today. And let me tell you, it was not easy. Nor the free trade agreements, nor the reduction of tariffs. Some members, even in the business community, accused me that I was going to kill the Mexican industry because I was opening too much the economy. Actually, at the beginning of my administration, there was a letter coming from private sector towards Congress, and in particular the Senate, saying, don't allow the president to make more free trade agreements. We need to overcome that political and social economic resistance in Mexico But finally, it works. We are gaining competitiveness according to several indexes. One particular issue is the expansion of the manufacturing sector in Mexico. As you can see in this graph, Mexico is exporting more than 60% of total manufacturing goods in Latin America. Or in other words, Mexico is exporting more manufactured goods than the rest of Latin American and Caribbean countries combined. And a very important part of that was the